There is no audience or creative of the week that will magically drop your CAC. What I'm about to share you is a 10-step framework that I've applied across multiple of brands to lower their CAC in 90 days. But this does require a little bit of patience. This exact process has helped brands like HelloFresh, Can You Do, and other health, education, tech brands to make their meta ads truly profitable. The cool thing is, it's a repeatable framework that works regardless of the niche or the ad spend. If you're here for something real, stay with me. I'm Aazar from The Performers, and we've managed more than 100 million in ad spend from multiple verticals in health, tech, education, service, brands, as well as D2C to help them scale profitably with creative testing framework and psychology-led creative ads. So let's break it down what actually works. Most marketers start optimizing their ads, but I don't get it how marketers can start optimizing without talking to their customers. You should start talking to your customer. This is something what I learned from the UX research. That is your first move to dig deeper. Somebody said somewhere, I don't remember who, but whoever is closest to the customer wins. Essentially, here's how I think about digging deeper. You should know your customers as if you're in a relationship and they are your ex and you're stalking them. This logic works for me, and because when I'm stalking them, when I'm understanding them without them talking to me, I know what they want, I know who's the person behind, and I know what they're really looking for. And this is something most marketers miss. So my own criteria talking to these customers are: one, they're using a product longer for 6 months. The one who are recently converted, who recently bought, they have given a really good review, NPS score, or they've talked about you on the internet positively. And then what I do is I try to ask them questions. There are multiple questions that you can see here that you can steal. Take a screenshot of this and ask them these questions. This will help you really dig deeper. And the most important thing that in this entire questionnaire, that when you're talking to them, make sure that you are not asking them all these questions one by one. Try to understand the journey. Where were they at? What were they using before? What was a bad alternative? How were they really thinking about the product? What was a problem they had, or what was a desire they had? What is something that kept them up at night? What is something that made them really feel good after using the product? What was the expectations before trying the product? If they would actually talk to somebody about this product, what would they say? Can they give one or two words to your product that you can remember? Don't ask them benefits, ask them keywords. All these things, like when you're asking them, will give you a really good idea who they really are. Most importantly, ask them, if this product would not be in your life today, how would you feel? And use the feelings. That is a key, because the feelings are the ones that you have to capture. I am about to show you a cheat sheet that I usually use if the client has some budget to really use this and understand the customer from ground up. Okay. Essentially, this is a template. You can use this. And you can see this here that, like, I try to say, okay, this is a questionnaire. We have a huge number of questionnaire that we usually ask. 30 to 40 minutes question, captured key takeaways. And then essentially you're asking motivation, status quo, pain points, trigger events, choosing criteria, deciding criteria, acquisition channels, and then competition, who they were really thinking, unique selling point, sales objection, results, and final outcomes, and some terms or words or stories that you would actually use in your ad. Most marketers miss this. They just go to the reviews, which is important. We're going to talk about reviews quickly. I'm going to give you one or two tips about it, but this is something most people don't do. And if you do this, then you're way ahead other marketers anyway. So this whole thing takes 2 to 3 weeks. So you have to create a right expectation with your team or clients. Trust me, give it some time. No amount of ChatGPT can actually get you this data. If you want to write better ads, the customers have already done half of the work for you. So your second move is review mining. So what we usually do is we actually pick reviews that we think are interesting and put them into Excel sheet. And we go through positive reviews and negative reviews and average reviews. And we also go to the reviews of the competitors' negative reviews to find what is missing in their product that we can talk and we can steal some customers from them. We usually go through the most praised reviews. We also read in between reviews, and we tag them as a concept, right? For example, easy to prepare. The meals are so good to serve. There are no leftovers to snack on, as there would be. I would have cooked myself. We tag them as positive. We tag them as negative. We put them into insights. But basically, we try to figure out all the reviews ourselves. It gives us a really good idea. We also find negative reviews as well. The reason why we find negative reviews is because we want to know what we should not talk about, what something that's telling us that we have to make sure that we turn into a positive experience. For example, this one, both my wife and I work, we need it to be there on time, but it comes after nominated time. So you make sure that we don't talk about timing and delivery at all in the ads. We try to figure out what are the benefits. We try to find the benefits. For example, taste, love the taste and perfection and the presentation on time. Food tastes good, unlike some pre-packed brands. That's a really good competitive. Like we can use it as a middle of the funnel ad. So this is really good. Like once we read this gives us really good ideas, and that is like, and we can use this exactly how it is. Like we can start with unhappy with pre-packed brands, try this brand, whatever that is. So as I said, this is how the sheet would look like, and you have to either manually do it or through a tool, but like you have to compile all the good and bad reviews together. And so here's what you will do. You will try to find patterns, you will try to find copies, and you'll try to find wording. You'll try to find voice from all of this to actually use it in your ads. So now that we have direct customer language and reviews, the next step is to the secondary research, stuff where you can find more insights without talking to the customers, like what they're talking on the internet. So Reddit, YouTube, Facebook groups. Facebook groups are really good, like especially for millennials and older audience, works really well. Quora, Slack channels, if you're in B2B, works really well as well. Basically, what we are trying to figure out is concepts beyond reviews, because that will also inform us what to talk about and what people are talking about it. And most marketers overlook. I don't. So let's do some primary research of this brand that I have promoted already and we're redoing just for you to figure out insights so you can learn while I'm doing it. So this is a brand called YouFood, and like people are actually giving reviews about us. I mean, this was 6 months ago, and it's in Australia because I did the promotion in Australia. So I used to use my Muscle Chef for a little while. Variety wasn't great. The meals were pretty good. Better than you foods and gourmets. Like people like the variety part of it, and I feel like that is we are not offering. So we have to think about how to use that. People are talking about our brand, you food, and then we'll figure out shift workers. Shift worker is an audience that I can now use for my ads and then actually target it in an audience. So here's another insight that I found from this Reddit thread. Like I use you foods, $120 a week for 10 meals, same as you. I hate cooking. The insight is I hate cooking. It's such an emotional word, such a really interesting word that you can use to actually really target your customer who really hate cooking. It's such a broadest way to target a person behavior. That's really good insight for me. I mostly use it for convenience. So people are using for convenience. So get it delivered, easy to use, that never cook. So like if convenience is the biggest another group that you can use, I think this is a really good review without giving a review. And that is something what we're looking for. Okay, so that was Reddit. I also looked at ready to eat meals. There's a huge subreddit on ready to eat meal. The whole reason I signed up was for the saving time. So saving time is a concept that we can use for ads as well. But for the third time, I need to make a special trip to go to the store and get. So this is a really bad review somebody's given about Hungry Root that we can use for ads. And I think something that we can also use from this wording, I cannot be the method this badly every single time. So if our delivery is really good, then you can talk about delivery on time, never messing up like others, so that we can use that as well. It's really good, like giving other brands meal prep and then getting ideas. So I personally like it. Let's look at YouTube. So these are like what I usually do is I also watch YouTube reviews of our influencers or people who've talked about us, and they actually there are comments there as well. So here's a nutritionist review for the brand that I was about to promote. He has talked about these products, fresh, not frozen meals, as a naturopath, and she's giving what I like, it and like. The interesting thing is there are a couple of dishes that they really liked in the inside. Bye Belly. Probably we can use those as a dish that we show in the ad. So that was a really good insight in my opinion. I've just given you two platforms. There are multiple platforms you can find insights. Just by doing a little bit digging onto the internet, it gives you like what people really like and what people are really looking for. What's the unspoken selfish desire, and then that's what you have to pick up. Let's go next. Step 4, consolidation and your POV. If I am selling a product, I need to be a consumer and customer of it. Otherwise, I would not be able to get good ideas later on once I've started running ads. Maybe for the 90 days, you will have good concept, but if you're an actual customer of the product, you will have amazing winning ideas that you can actually come up with. So you have to use a product yourself. So I try to add my POV. So I have a chai product. If you've seen multiple of my videos, I actually drink the chai at least 5 times a day myself, the black chai and the healthy chai, and then I know what to say and what I'm feeling. That is really important. For this product, I actually ordered, it was in Australia, I could not order myself, but I ordered their competitor to actually try the product and see how they feel. And I got an idea how to use ready to eat meals. I had so many ideas after getting those delivered because it gave me the experience what are my customers going through. And this is your unfair advantage as a marketer if you're able to use that product, because nobody can steal that away from you. People can compete against people can find all the insights outside of the internet, but what you go through and what you personally believe in, it does transfer through the ads. And essentially, I try to not work with clients I can't imagine to use a product for. Actually, I have my personal mission that I try to work for products that actually help the world. So that's why I work with tech products that save people time and energy and resources. I work with health brands because they really move the needle for a lot of people. They change their life. Education, specifically for that reason as well. And some of the D2C brands that actually improve people's quality of life. So I try to stick with that. And lastly, I'm working with lead gen services. Also, like some of them are actually in the legal or medical space. If you're running ads, make sure you're running ads for the right businesses. And that's how I think about it. Let's move next. Step 5 is follow up and track competitors. Before you start creating ads, you really need to understand what's already winning in your market. What is your customer is already accustomed with? What are they already looking in the screen? And to be honest, there's no point of reinventing the wheel. There are people who are coming with the original ideas. And like, I think for now, if you really want to win, start with something which is already familiar and use what's already working. So for this phase, here's the secret. Check for the ads that are already on your competitor's timeline longer than 30 days. And if you are in the same country as your competitor, then you will definitely get their ads. Look at your competitors' ads that are longer than 30 days and they have a lot of likes and comments, which means engagement. This is a proof that this ad is working. But there is one more trick that you can do that will save you some time in research of competitor analysis, and that's where Atria comes in. Atria is a SaaS tool that I'm using for last 2 years, and I'm so happy with it. So I want to show you how you can track your competitors. So let's look at them. For this example, we'll use Javi Coffee just to understand what they look like. So what I'm trying to figure out is their positioning, benefits, and value props, copywriting and messaging, ad formats that are working for them. And what I'll also try to figure out what not to use in my own ads, because copying one-to-one will not help you stand out in the feed. As I said, Atria does a really good job, and I'm just going to walk you through what I get from them. What I try to first of all do is like try to do this 30-day principle. So I know I'm only looking at ads that are longer than 30 days or 90 days. Let's look at 90 days. Javi Coffee actually has like 4,000 ads. And let's say we only want to look at image ads just for now and just to get some messaging what they're using in their ads. What I see right now is that actually I can change the custom and I'll say here, I'll say before 30th of September from let's say 1st of July. So then I know that they have launched these ads and these are the ads that might be running. Some of they've already started running ads before 30th September as well. So they are already promoting Black Friday. But like, for example, this format, salted caramel. So like they actually make salted caramel coffee and that's like showing caramel in the font is already interesting. Maybe that will work for us. I actually stole this ad for one of my chai brand. Never tastes 0 grams sugar never tasted so good, because we also sell chai that has no sugar in it. So like that was really interesting for us. Atria gives me what hooks are working for them, and then I can see, okay, these are the hooks they are using. The hook is working. It is a true fact that women are supposed to have 20 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. So like they're using that as a hook. So maybe I can use something similar for my other brands. Then there are certain ad copies that give you certain idea. For example, Javi Coffee, their main messaging has 490 ads on it and it's the longest running. This is a headline that says fuel your day with 20 grams of protein. So their angle in coffee is protein. I've never thought about as a positioning, but it kind of works. And they talk about like what is their messaging, why choose coffee and protein when you can have both. So their clear positioning is coffee that can act as a protein. Amazing angle. I think if I'm a competitor, I would be scared of Javi Coffee. Then they also share certain headlines as well. So let's see what headline is working for them. Power your coffee with protein. Angle number 1, high protein coffee. Angle number 2, 15 plus irresistible flavor. So they have multiple variety. They're trying to sell. Okay, so if I'm just trying to understand what they do. Then let's ignore landing pages, but let's look at personas, who they're really trying to target. So they're trying to target somebody who is a health optimizer like me, who wants to drink coffee and protein. The time-starved achiever, like somebody who wants to make things quick, so convenience is a thing. Busy professionals, the wellness seeker. These are really good personas that I can already understand from Atria that I would have not thought from reviews myself. Then there are ad angles as well. So what I do is like I try to figure out time-saving solution is an ad angle. They're using protein coffee that I figured out. Guilt-free indulgence. Okay, this is a good ad concept that angles we can use. Energy boost, curb cravings. I think and look at the amount of ads they have on these. And this tells us that now if I'm a JV coffee competitor, how I would think about it. Because if they are going after protein, can I go after something else as a supplement that can be an angle? But like, just understanding this is really important to know. They have USPs as well, exactly what we did with our customers. And now we can say what customers, competitors are looking for. USP: time saving, high protein content, low calories, healthy alternative, 10 grams of protein, affordable. So like these are all USPs. And we have to see how we differentiate ourselves. Desires, health, enjoyment, emotions, satisfaction. Like they're just trying to show satisfaction in the ad, the happy, the joy, excitement. So essentially, within 5 minutes, I was able to understand what one of the competitors are doing. So they are going after like features, benefit, promotion, discount, problem, solution. So I already have an idea what ads I can run to actually be closer to winning ads. And this Atria is my unfair advantage as well that helps me figure it out. So try Atria, and there's a code link in the code down there. You can get 10% off. Use code Aazar, AAZAR. This is just like my favorite tool, so I'm just sharing with you. You can try other tools out there as well. Step 6: account audit and comments mining. If you think the research is already done, you're wrong. The reason why I put so much emphasis on data collection is simple. If your database isn't solid, your targeting and messaging will be off. And when that happens, meta algorithm will amplify the wrong message to the wrong audience, and that will waste your budget as well as momentum. So the next step is look at the data. What ads are working? Do an account edit. For example, you can look at the cost per acquisition, what is the click-through rate, what is the cost per unique landing page view. You have to look at post comments. You have to look at first frame retention. I again use Atria as a tool to actually figure that out. So for example, I'll give you an example of my brand. So this is Atria again. And basically I have created like kind of an inside document where I see, okay, what's the best ad, why it was the best ad in last 365 days, what's the ROAS, what's the click-through rate, what's the average order value. And then I can also change based on meta view engagement, and I can see like what's the first frame retention of this ad, what's the thumb stop rate, and just overall like how many people are watching it. This tool actually helped me quickly analyze what ads are working, why they're working, what can we learn from them, and most importantly, look at the digging into comments. And the best part about Atria is that I don't have to do manual reporting anymore. I just share this link and then that's it. And then the client knows every week what ads are working, why they're working. And that really saves us a lot of time. With this step, you will understand what gaps I can identify to move the needle, what concept they've run and have not won, and what concept you should double down onto, how fast we can achieve results. So I have a brand that I've dug into their comments and I try to figure out the objections from it. I try to figure out what is the biggest problem people are telling us in the comments. So I combine them together to understand the biggest objection so I can actually address them in my ads. So for example, based on the screen, you can see like I already sold all the comments, put them to ChatGPT. And then I try to ask like what was the top 10 reasons why they're not buying us. Maybe it's the authenticity, maybe the ethical obligation, health and safety objection, life and time dependency. And it gave me a really good 10 ways to figure out what are the emotions people are going through, what is the biggest objection they have, and then how to reframe it. But so I just put all the comments, and this product actually needs to address more objection than the concept. So I needed to understand what are the biggest problem people have with the ads and with the product itself that we can address already upfront. And that is something that you have to do if you really want to outperform, because you really want to address objections upfront by looking into the comments. Stay with me. I'm about to share with you a framework that I use that has helped my all brands reduce their CAC. And if you steal this framework, I can guarantee that you will have good results because it has helped my clients a lot. But before that, step 7. No one knows your customer better than the people who talk to them every day. That's why this super simple step. Get insights straight from the team. Talk to your support team, talk to your sales team, bring them to the picture. Ask what customers are keep complaining about. Ask what customers are keep praising about. You'll find this creative gold hiding in everyday conversations, and use these insights to shape your ads, shape your ideas, and be more confident what concept you're gonna run first and next. So here's an example. I try to understand what the product is about, who the customer is, who's not the best customer, who's the anti-customer. And I try to figure out what the problem is, who the problems have, what kind of problems they have. Try to understand what is the selfish desire according to them. Then I try to understand what's the jobs to be done, what's the benefits that they're trying to have, what are the outcomes. Same thing, but like from the team's perspective. So you have really good data when you're going to make ads, and you have pretty much confidence what you're going to run next. Step 8. This is the most important step. You have to figure out what to say first. And that's the most important step. You have a lot of data, you understand your audience, and it's time to define your messages. What you do is you run simple messaging like this billboard ads. I try to run ads simply and try to like understand what and why using those concepts and angles and try to figure out what is resonating with them and why it's resonating with them. So I make multiple concepts, multiple ideas. I bucket them into audience profile, outcomes, benefits, jobs to be done, selfish and spoken desire. And then I test all of these together. So really understand like what is really resonating and why is it really resonating. That's the step part 1. But once you know what is working, you have to get into the next step. Step 9, figure out how. In this section, what you mean is like, okay, you know that simple billboard ad gave you some wordings that you can use in your ads. Try us versus them ads, try founder ads, try press screenshot ad, try multiple different ways of presenting the ads, which we call it formats that you can try to actually resonate. Say the same thing in 100 different ways, basically. If you're short on ideas what ads to run, you can use these ideas. These are proven ads ideas that I have as a swipe file. It will be in the comments as well that you can use to actually come up with different multiple formats that you can steal. They still work to date. And then once you figure out what and why and how, the last thing is how else. So then where we use videos, because we want to be super confident. Video takes time. Video has multiple frames, has multiple variables. So at least to test how else, you have to figure out like what messaging you have to go after and what concepts that you're super confident on. And we use multiple ways of showing the same thing, which means that we have at least 29 different ways of showing the same video differently. And maybe not all of them will work. Some of them will work. So you have to also prioritize on that. Like what do you think with that brand, that niche, that vertical, when you have done your competitor analysis, how will it resonate further? And is how else will get answered by doing that, because you already know what your competitors are running, what kind of ads are running with their audience. You just change the messaging around it. And I've made a framework out of it so you can use it. It's basically first figure out the message, then figure out the formats, and then figure out the videos. And that way you will bring the CAC down. But there's one more thing you can do to bring the CAC further down, is adding the offer on top. Here's an example. So for example, if you add offer on top and you know the messaging is working, a good offer can get people to move. If you still are looking for more proven ad examples, let me share a secret with you. And it's a very private community where we find all the good ideas. So I have this mastermind I've been running for last 3 years, and people actually freely share their insights about ads. I also share some of my ads that I don't share here on YouTube to the team. People really share this. Like you see the examples of the ads and what worked, why it worked. So if you're really looking for proven ad ideas and don't want to feel alone when you're running ads as an agency owner or a marketer, this is a perfect community for you to be in, because like we really share good ad ideas with each other. It's validated by multiple people. If you want to join a community where you want to learn more about meta ads and creative strategy as well as media buying, this would be it. So I'm going to give the link in the comment below if you want to join. So that is a 10-step framework to systematically bring your CAC down on meta ads. Give it 90 days and thank me later. But let's be real, doing all of this takes time, energy, resources, experimenting, and experience required for this. Even when you have a full framework from customer interviews, review mining, as well as all the primary, secondary research, it's more than a full-time job. You will need a professional team. And that's why we build the performers. My team and I are trained to run this entire process for you, from research to creating creatives, images, or the videos, and running ads profitably in terms of media buying. We do all the thing for you. So if you're ready to lower your CAC and grow faster, go to theperformers.io. There'll be link in the description or below, or there'll be QR code here that you can take and immediately talk to us. And if you're testing this on your own, stay curious, keep iterating. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Write comments if there's anything unclear so I can help you out. And until then, I want to just say goodbye and see you in the next video.